Roman Reigns has just returned to SmackDown and put hands on the new Bloodline members for the first time. So we'll see what's going on there and what's already being hinted at. Starting things off with everything related to Roman Reigns and the Bloodline. SmackDown kicked off with Cody Rhodes sharing some words about putting his title defense at SummerSlam behind him and looking into what's ahead of him. Cody said that he had an opponent in mind for Bash in Berlin. But before he can name that individual, he was interrupted by Solo Sikoa and the new Bloodline. Solo's argument was that if it wasn't for Roman Reigns at SummerSlam, that he would be the new WWE champion right now. Solo Sikoa demanded another title match from Cody Rhodes because of that reason. When the Bloodline started closing in on Cody Rhodes, it was Kevin Owens who made the save for Cody to chase the Bloodline away. But another major key line during Cody and Solo's interaction was the topic of Jacob Fatu. Jacob had that big spot at SummerSlam of jumping onto the commentary table and then screaming out in pain, and he couldn't stand up for the rest of the match. Jacob was helped to the back and even seen in public after SummerSlam with a walking boot on. So that had fans really concerned, but according to reports, the SummerSlam spot and the whole foot injury is all part of the storyline and isn't a real injury. So that's what Cody uses against Solo Sikoa here during this interaction. Cody told Solo that he was the one responsible for Jacob getting hurt. So the fact that Cody brought that line up is pretty interesting. Are they trying to build up some sympathy for Jacob, give him a reason to possibly be a little upset towards Solo Sikoa? It definitely seemed like that was the direction Cody Rhodes was leaning in there. Jacob Fatu was once again absent for the August 9th edition of SmackDown to further sell the storyline injury from SummerSlam. Jacob being written off of SummerSlam and missing that edition of SmackDown seems to be related to the fact that, for whatever reason, they don't want Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu to cross paths right now, which is completely understandable. They don't want Roman Reigns to easily take out Jacob Fatu, so they're protecting Jacob from Roman and saving that interaction for the near future. Roman can easily handle Solo and the Tonga brothers right now on his own, but it looks like once Jacob comes back in and has that epic interaction with Roman that they've been saving up, that's when it's all gonna probably hit Roman that he can't do this on his own after all and needs some major backup. But getting back to the August 9th edition of SmackDown, Solo Sikoa and the Bloodline spent the whole night looking for Roman backstage, but they couldn't find him. So they head out to the ring for Solo Sikoa to talk about how he's the new tribal chief now. This leads to Roman Reigns making his return to SmackDown for the first time since March 22nd. No words are said by Roman at all. He quickly takes out the Tonga brothers and starts to go to work on Solo Sikoa. Solo eventually drops the coveted red lei that once belonged to Roman Reigns. And similar to what we recently saw with CM Punk and the bracelet, Roman tunes everything else out and just locks in on the red lei and picks it up. This red lei has belonged to Roman for the large part of his last 4 years, and it's a physical representation of being the tribal chief. But you also have to remember that this red lei now means even more to Roman, because it was given to him by his father and uncle, the Wild Samoans, way back in the fall of 2020. And Roman just lost his father a few months back in June. So the fact that Roman's father is no longer with us obviously makes this connection with the lei even stronger now. It already meant the world to Roman before, but now it has that extra significance and history behind it. He has to get it back, that red lei that was given to him by his father. So when you see Roman pick it up and stare at it, that's what's going on in his head. He's remembering his father. He's remembering the crowning the Wild Samoans gave him that night of Hell in a Cell 2020. It's all coming back to Roman in a big flash. But before Roman could secure it and put it on, the Tonga brothers jump all over Roman again, which opens up the door for Solo to steal it back and walk up the ramp with it, while he leaves the Tonga brothers all alone to deal with Roman Reigns. It's a battle that the Tonga brothers end up losing though, because Roman ends up taking both of them out, but not before Solo is long gone with the lay. So Roman had a pretty easy time managing this 3-on-1 situation. But obviously the next twist to this story is once Jacob Fatu returns and has a pretty epic confrontation with Roman Reigns. Based on what we've seen from Jacob so far, he's not going down as easily as the other 3 Bloodline members go down. We've seen Jacob get right back up from different signature moves, being completely unharmed by them. So what's Roman gonna do when Jacob possibly gets right back up from a Superman punch or from a spear? Because that's something that might actually happen. Jacob's on a whole other level than the Tonga brothers, and even Solo Sikoa for that matter. So Roman shouldn't easily take care of Jacob like it's some sort of ordinary nobody. Jacob's going to be able to match Roman's intensity and power, and maybe that'll even shock Roman within that moment. So that's the main reason for Jacob's storyline injury. They're letting Roman get a couple of easy wins and big moments against the Bloodline for the time being, but the real challenge will start when Jacob returns. There was also a small side story going on with Roman Reigns in the background of the show. When Nick Aldis and Cody Rhodes were trying to get Kevin Owens to agree to take the WWE title match for Bash in Berlin, Nick Aldis dropped a few lines about how he had an upcoming meeting with Roman Reigns for Roman to get a title rematch. Now, it's left a bit unclear if Nick Aldis was actually telling the truth, or if it was just a ploy to spark that passionate response from Kevin Owens. But it seems very realistic that Nick Aldis would have that meeting with Roman. And like Kevin Owens said, WWE hasn't really enforced the rematch clause rule for former champions in over 4 years. But if anyone does deserve a rematch clause, it's definitely Roman Reigns after that long title reign. And it does seem pretty realistic that Roman would at least try and have that desire to get his title back. So we'll see how they'll work that part of the story out, because it doesn't seem like they'll waste another Cody versus Roman match in the near future. So maybe another storyline obstacle will keep preventing that match from happening after all. So the status of the next Cody versus Roman match is very uncertain for the time being. Cody did say that he feels like another meeting with Roman Reigns has to happen. But before Roman can focus on getting back the WWE title, it looks like his focus will be getting back the Red Lay first. You can absolutely argue that the Red Lay is just as important as the WWE title to Roman Reigns right now. So he needs that back as soon as possible. And of course, this story is just getting started. We should start seeing even more family members join the fight in the coming months, especially on Roman's side. There's still no word on how exactly WWE will handle the return of the original Bloodline members, but it seems possible that they could have them return one by one to give each member their own individual spotlight to return in. So we could end up seeing major individual returns for Paul Heyman, Jimmy Uso, and Jey Uso, with the crowd just going crazy for every single one of those returns. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.